Ever since the Hema Committee report exposed the underbelly of sexual abuse in the Malayalam film industry, we have new voices coming out every day to talk about their horrific experiences. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. Our focus today continues on the domino effect that has been revealed after the Hema Committee report, a panel set up nearly 5 years ago to look into the place of women in the Malayalam film industry, has finally been made public. Several big stars of the Kerala film industry, Mohanlal, Mammooty, have been compelled to take some sort of position while still being criticized by many female actors for their lack of empathy. On the program today, we'll be talking to somebody who's been at the front line of this battle, actor Rima Kallingal. Rima Kallingal is, of course, part of the Kerala Women's Collective that has been spearheading this battle for a safer working environment for women in the Malayalam film industry. Ever since she's been speaking up, she's also had to pay several prices. At several points, she's been denied work. And most recently, she has been at the receiving end of allegations by singer Suchitra, who accused her and her husband of organizing quote-unquote rave parties where drugs were used. Rima has argued that this has only distracted from the only issue that should be in focus right now, which is the Hema Committee report. Joining us on the program today is our newsmaker, Rima Kallingal. Rima, thanks so much for your time today. I wish we were talking about more pleasant things, but in a way, this has been a stellar fight fought by you and your compatriots in the Women's Collective. So congratulations on a job well done. But let me start by asking you your emotions today. Is there hope, or is there, as you have said, a kind of dismay at what you have called an attempt to discredit the movement that you have led, that women like yourselves have fought? In the middle of all this, you've had to send a legal notice to Suchitra, a singer who basically accused you and your husband for drug use at quote-unquote rave parties. Why in the middle of discussing women's place in the Malayalam film industry are we looking at this kind of, kerfuffle, and you're having to take legal action?
But wasn't this expected, Barkha? I mean, haven't we seen this before in history? This has always been the ploy, right? So I think we did expect this, and it doesn't really come as a surprise at all, if you ask me. But is there hope? Yes. 100%. Because with what we have done today, look at what's happening in the Tamil industry. Look at what's happening in the Telugu industry, the Kannada industry today. They've all met the CM. I see it spreading. I see that women everywhere recognize what we are talking about. And men are also listening now. I see that governments are taking us seriously. We understand that this is much beyond a small entertainment space today. We understand it's workplace rights. It's not just about, a few people coming together and making a film. It's about so many people working together here, and the fact that everybody has rights. Everybody needs a safe working space, equitable work environment. And today we are talking and everybody is listening. There is no way they can ignore us anymore.
And it's so important that you locate this within women and safety at the workplace, because this isn't only about the film industry. Look at what's happening in Kolkata, where a doctor was raped and killed at her place of work. So this is across professions. It's universal. Each one of us in our own industries goes through it in some way. But Rima, every woman who speaks pays a price, right?
Yes.
I want to understand the price you've had to pay, not just right now where you've had to fight this legal case, but even along the way. Have you lost work? Have you been smeared? Have you been slandered? Talk a little bit about the journey that began for all of you in 2017. We're now in 2024. It's taken a long time to get to this point. What has been the cost to you personally and professionally?
Yes, everything you said, Barkha, like, from the slandering, the social media attacks, the trolling, the fact that any woman who stands up and talks is seen as a threat to
Yeah.
patriarchy, to systems, to the traditional conventional systems that is in place. It scares them. I understand that, but I have always been this person. I have always been a rebel. I've always done this in every space that I have been to, and I have faced this all my life. I have had questions thrown at me, and I've always had this debate going on with people around me. So you are the troublemaker. You are the one who doesn't really, toe the line. So
Yeah.
the cost has been heavy, if you ask me. Um, but it's a cost I'm ready to pay at this
Yeah.
point in my life. But I have a problem with the government for the fact that they came up with a suggestion. We asked for a study. They put a Hema committee together. This report was made 2.5 years after WCC was formed.
Yeah.
Today, 7.5 years later,
Hmm.
an RTI had to be filed for this to come out. That 4.5 years of wait, I'm really disappointed about that, Barka.
Yeah.
That 4.5 years we could have all saved, not just for us. I'm saying for everybody out there, for the industry, for a better working condition, for a better creative space. This works for everybody. It's not just for us, right? It's not just for
Yeah.
some 15 of us. That time we lost, I have a huge issue with that. Everything else, yes, every revolution, every renaissance, everything, every movement like this, we have to, there's a cost to, bear. But I don't want to be a martyr here. I'm not leaving a martyr, who died in the, who had to give up everything. No, I
Yeah.
am not doing that. We are still here and we're still talking.
Absolutely. And so before I come to the HEMA committee, the delays in it, what it's actually pointed out, you said you've had to pay a cost. You're ready to pay that cost, but not at the cost of being a martyr. You are going to be, you're there and you're going to be heard and seen, and more power to you. What form and shape did the cost take? Did you have work denied to you? The
Oh,
character
yes.
assassination, the morality question, yes. But have you lost out on work?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. As in, I still remember, there was a time when um, directors would come to me, they will narrate the script, and they'll come back saying, producers refuse to work with WCC members. So they'll say, we'll do the work, but no WCC
Mm.
members. They would clearly like say the words.
Mm.
Um, and there were a lot of creative people who wanted to work with me. There have been so many scriptwriters who came to me. But it would never get funded. You understand? So, and I remember
Of course.
there have been times when um, uh, there were spaces in award panels, in spaces where decisions are made, and they were clearly told no, no WCC members, no. So that was, yeah, and I'm saying this at every, not just work related, right? Like even when you are nominated for something, a position, an award, or anything, everywhere there was a clear silencing, there was clear isolation. They wanted to wipe us out, and they wanted to make sure that they weaken us to a point where we can't really speak up anymore.
And that is why women in this moment owe so much to all of you in the collective. Those of you who have really paid a personal and professional price to get all of us here to this point.
Mhm.
The committee's report, and you're absolutely right in pointing out the completely inexplicable and unacceptable delay of nearly 5 years before it's come out. It talks actually of a powerful group within the industry that controls the careers of women, and that perhaps is the same group that prevented this report from coming out. Um, do you believe that? Do you believe that there's a powerful mafia that controls the industry?
Uh, don't you think so? I mean, everywhere where there's so much power, there are a group of people that control it. It is. I think it's prevalent everywhere, not just in the movie industry. It happens everywhere. And it has happened here, or else there is no other explanation to why a study on the industry should not come out. Why not? Who
Mhm.
are they scared of? It should have come out. We should have been discussing this, implementing things based on that. So what is happening right now after the Hema Committee report came out? You know, I think that is what they scared. They were scared of in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
knew that it would empower more women. It would empower women to believe that there is some kind of a system that is going to maybe put their weight behind them, give them a voice, give them a platform, maybe give them a better livelihood, better industry to work in. And I don't know, I don't understand why people are so scared of giving that to everybody. Why yes, you all have a great space. You're creating, you are producing, you're acting, you're directing. Give that happiness and creative space to everybody. What are you so scared of? Come on.
Yeah.
2024, come on.
Yeah, it's actually staggering, when you look at the fact that the committee talks about the absence of proper changing rooms, the absence of proper toilets, the absence in pay parity. But it's also got some chilling accounts from complainants, women who came before the committee, talking about how if they drew a red line sexually with
Hmm,
powerful men on set, or whom they were hoping to get work from, the
mhm,
punishment would come, for example, in the form somebody gave an account that they were made to do a kissing scene 17 times, right? That became the punishment. Another actor I was speaking to, she said, this euphemism called the casting couch. I said, what does it mean? She said, it means that you have to be sexually available on the terms of the men who are asking for this. So really, we're looking at some horror accounts. We've now had Soumya come out. I'm taking her name because she's come out herself, come out and talking about being groomed and raped. We've had Radhika Sarath Kumar say to me that there were hidden cameras making nude videos on the sly in vans where women were trying to change clothes. I mean, what do you feel when all of this is collated under one thing called the Hema Committee panel? Like, how do you keep your hope?
But I think there's only one way forward: to voice this out and to change it. And all this while, you think women didn't know this? You think the industry didn't know it? Everybody knew it.
Yeah,
Everybody knows about this. But today, one woman stood up, spoke out, and all these other women stood up with her, rallied behind her. That is a
yeah,
first, Barka. That is a
yeah,
first. And that is the beauty of this moment, that women for once stood up and stood together. And I have so much hope in that, because I haven't seen this happen before in the industry. I have so much hope in this sisterhood. And let me tell you, Barka, this last 7.5 years, the kind of sisterhood, the kind of work I have seen these women do: Beena Paul, Sajida Madatil, Didi Damodaran, Anjali Menon, Parvati Tiruvot, Divya Gopinath, Archana Padmini, Asha Achi Joseph, the amount of work these women have done. I have seen them go through so much. And in spite of that, we have held each other. We have, there have been days when we were so hopeless, but we've always, held hands, stood up, stood back up, and we never lost hope, because, we were together. And I feel such strength in this. There is such beauty in this. And I want to call out to all the women in this industry. I really want to tell them, please stand up. This is the time. Please stand up. Time is really up. We have to
yeah.
stand up. This is your movement as well. If you're silent now, if you're scared now, you have to be scared all your life. It doesn't make any sense. It's a wasted life. Let us stand together. And it is not to destroy any industry. It is not about mudslinging. It is not about bringing people down. It's about our future. It's about living a worthful, creative, beautiful life together.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you make this reference about we're not here to destroy any industry, because those were the comments that came from Mohanlal,
Exactly.
who's easily one of the most powerful men in the industry. And now I was talking to Parvati, and she said that she was not at all impressed with these mass resignations. In fact, she used the word cowardly. She said it basically is men opting out of the conversation. How do you look at the positions that Mohanlal and Mammootty have finally taken? A star like Rajnikanth not commenting at all. The biggest names, Dilip himself accused in one of the cases, Siddiq, Ranjit accused now, very serious allegations against them. But when you look at Mohanlal, Mammootty, Rajnikanth, not accused themselves, but certainly accused of being silent, of looking the other way, of not being empathetic enough. How do you look at their positions in these mass resignations?
The same, Barka. I think it's time's up for them too. You can't
Mm.
ignore this anymore. I think I think it's time we realize the kind of talent, the kind of emotional intelligence, the kind of weight that women bring to this world, to your workplace, to the content, to everything that happens around you. You can't ignore the women anymore. Those systems
Yeah.
are coming down anytime now, because the women are standing up, talking for themselves. There is no way you can remain silent. No, you will have to see us. You will have to hear our voices. Time's up for them too.
So, but are there consequences to saying to Mohanlal, Mammootty, and Rajnikant, time's up for you too? I mean, when you say that, do you
No,
realize that these are cult figures for so many
yes,
people?
exactly. And they're cult figures for a reason. We all see, I love their work. I admire them as artists. So if and to keep up the admiration and inspiration that they have been till now, I think they have to see us too.
Yeah.
That's my ask.
Are you disappointed with them? Are you angry with them? Are you cynical about their relative silence for so long?
See, I understand the fear. I understand that, all this while they didn't have to really factor in all of this. I understand that it is extra work. Yes.
Hmm.
Even in a small interpersonal relationship between a man and a woman, when a woman, asks for something, it is a lot of work. So when you're talking about changing a whole industry that has, been working like this for the last 96 years, I understand it is a lot of work. But
Yeah.
come on, now let's put in the work. Let's make it a better place. We are not distracting anything here. We are constructing and we are rebuilding. We are very clear, and there is, if you people listening to us clearly know what we are saying. We want a better world. We want a better industry for everybody. We are only rebuilding. We are only reconstructing. It is very clear for everybody to see.
You know, if there's one thing that the feminist movement teaches us, it is
Mhm.
that patriarchy and misogyny and feminism can be gender neutral. So you have men who are feminists, and you have women who are also shaped by the same patriarchy, who can be patriarchal. I
Yes.
ask this in the context not just of men who, for example, in the Kolkata rape and murder, are fighting shoulder to shoulder with women, but in
Yes.
your own case, the fact that the kind of attempt to the allegations against you have come from a woman, they've come from another woman,
Yes.
and how do you wrap your head around that? And what made you take the step of taking legal action? A lot of times when things are said about us, we're like, let's just ignore it. You decided right now not to ignore it. Tell us about that.
Barkav, I think I've always maintained this, and I'll tell you, I'll give 10 chances to a woman when I give one chance to a man, because I think this system has always been unfair to her,
Sure.
has always, it's designed to make her fail. I think women are so much more bitter at what is happening to them on a daily basis than a man. We have it so difficult. So I give them 10 more chances. But this, see, I have been targeted so many times before on a personal level, and I
Yeah.
have let it pass. It really doesn't bother me, Barka. I live my life the way I want. I do not interfere with anybody else's life, and I have no issues with that. This time, this time was different. We are in the middle of a movement. This is historic. I know this is going to be fruitful. We are going to see this through. And because of that, I didn't want my comrades, all the women who have believed in me, the whole everybody in the state in the state of Kerala who have believed in this struggle. I didn't want to let them down. It had to be, countered head on. That is why I filed the defamation. And I was also very, very disappointed with the media, Barkha, this time. Because, I think Times of India reported this first. So the headline says accuses. The first paragraph say alleges. The second paragraph say hearsay. I think that was way below the belt. That was way below the belt. We are in the middle of a huge movement here. It was gaining traction, and it's being derailed for something this silly, this stupid. It was, everybody knew about Suchi leaks. They all know it. There are hours and hours of tape where there is so much of rubbish being spewed, and to say that so many media without cross-checking, without giving context. That was, I thought, this had to be countered at this moment, because I want the attention to be on the Hema Committee report. I want the attention to be on what we are going to do next. How is the government going to step in? How are all the stakeholders in the industry coming together to do something about this? We are looking at the way forward. That is why I countered this.
Yeah, I totally get it. And that's why I want to end by asking you, what now? Because we are seeing echoes of what you all have achieved in Kerala. As you said, in Tamil Nadu, women have begun to speak up. In the Telugu film industry, women have begun to speak up. I'll be very interested and curious to know how this plays out in the city of Mumbai, in the Hindi film industry. But what for you has been the toughest thing being female in the industry? And how do you plan to chart the course from this moment onwards?
So, Barkha, we've already started studying the committee report. We've already worked with Sakhi and formed a set of recommendations under the title Shift Focus. There has been this whole study that has been sent to the Labour Commission. There is this whole study, cinema policy study done by Adur Gopalakrishnan. So there are so many of these recommendations that we have now. We are going to, again, go to the CM. We are going to talk to the government. We are again going to talk to all the stakeholders. We are going to make sure that we come together. We are going to make sure of this. It doesn't matter how we do it. But if it doesn't happen behind, at a conclave or behind, in a room across a bench, then we are going to do it on social media. We are going to do it along with the people of Kerala. But we will discuss this. We are going to put it out there. We have solutions to all the problems that are out there. We have solutions, we have recommendations, and we are going to see how we can put it into action as well. That is our next step. There's no doubt about it.
I am so happy to hear there are next steps, and we've lost critical time, as you pointed out, in the coming out of this report. And certainly, I hope that the film industry, the medical community, both two professional spaces where women are fighting, does give cues to other industries, the news media among them, all professions, for women to raise their voices and not be cowed down by bullies, by trolls, by slander attempts. And as you said. That time is up for that.
Yes. Thank you,
Rima.
Thank you. You've been such
More
a champion.
power to you. More power to you. Really proud of what all of you.
It's great to see you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching our work.
Take care.
If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.